Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Running Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Big Mike. I am joined, as always, by my brother, Sped. What's going on, man? How you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm trying to get this thing to stop being stupid, but, it's technology. How you doing?
Wait, are you talking about your computer or are you talking about me? Yeah. That's a lot harder job.
Computer. No, it was a computer, man, because you were skipping there for a second. I was like, what the hell now? Yeah.
What's up, Carol? How are you doing tonight?
Hey.
If you did not notice, which I'm not sure how you didn't, we have a special guest tonight. You follow me on X at _BigMike27. We are having a special guest. It is our AEW Dynasty predictions. So we had to bring in a couple of ringers. One could not make it, which we'll get to in a minute. But we do have Jesse B from the Lowdown. Jesse, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing good. Ready to talk about some wrestling. Yeah, big show, big pay-per-view coming up. A lot of matches. I want to say there was 9 last time I checked. So a lot to get to there. We will go through some stuff with WWE. I know, Jesse, you and I have already talked about some of it on the Raw Rundown. We will let Sped kind of get his opinions out there, and we'll kind of rehash it too, since we've had a few days to kind of think about it. See if our opinions have changed on anything that we have seen in WWE. And then we will get to the main event, the AEW crown, which you see, if Sped will move his head for just a second, you will see on that beautiful picture behind him right there, the AEW crown, to see if her or John Anthony, who is our other guest, who could not make it. He had some personal stuff come up, so we will have a video with him with his predictions as well, so he still does count. We didn't forget about you, John. Hope you're having a great time at work. Hope you get to watch and join in the fun as well. But yeah, we will get to it. You guys ready?
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Starting off as we normally do with SmackDown. Really, the only main thing coming out of SmackDown was the big announcement that it will be Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk in the main event of Night 1 of WrestleMania. CM Punk is now a WrestleMania main eventer. Sped, I know Jesse and I talked about it a little bit, so will let you go first. What did you think about the spot, and what do you think about CM Punk finally getting the main event WrestleMania?
I agree with Seth. He don't deserve it. All right, I get it. Everybody's been chanting his name for 10 years. Oh, blah, blah, blah. That's cool. But what has he done since then, since returning? What has he done deserving to be a main eventer with Roman Reigns, a guy who's main evented, the last 4 main events?
4 or 5, really.
5, something like that. And then Seth Rollins, who was holding down the inaugural, bringing back the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't agree with this being a main event because you have others that could main event a lot better. There's other storylines that are help. You can even make Bianca, Rhea, and Io your main event Night 1 because you can
technically that's not official yet. They haven't made that an official match. So. I'm
just saying you can make that Night 1 pretty darn easily versus this. I get it. Like I said before, this would mean more to me if Moxley was in this match. Yes, I said it because he's part of the story, part of the Shield story, and the CM Punk debacle. Remember years ago, it was Punk going with the 400+ title reign, and who was there backing him? The Shield, and it was, very quiet about it at that time, but it was the Shield. Hey, thank you for the follow.
Nice.
We just got a follow.
Sped with another follow over on Twitch.
Oh, no, that's on Kick. That's our first ever Kick follow. So thank you.
Kick. Yeah, so, Carol agrees. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense for it to be the main event. I get the match with everything they've been doing. I do kind of agree. I don't know that it should be the main event. I think this tells a lot that maybe we don't know that Punk will be around for another main event for WrestleMania next year. So that could tell a lot to that. I don't know. I obviously hadn't heard anything because I'm not an insider or whatever. But Jesse, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this before I ask you. I know you weren't thrilled about it being a main event. Has that changed or anything, or do you still hold the same position?
It's stupid because I think one of the Royal Rumble winners should have the main event.
Thank you.
Why aren't the Royal Rumble winners? I can't even spit my words out, but why aren't the Royal Rumble winners in a main event match?
Yep.
I thought that was the whole point of winning the Royal Rumble was so you get to go main event WrestleMania.
No, I'm with you. I agree.
I get that.
I don't disagree. Now, I will say, in their defense, this is probably the match with the most star power of any of them, really. I mean, maybe Cena, Cody, but which is going to main event night 2. But other than that, this is probably the most star power you're going to get in any match. So I see it from that standpoint.
I get what you're saying by star power, but in recent past, we've had star power. Austin Rock. Okay, they didn't main event the whole thing. I mean, then there was matches after that match. You know, that was Austin's last match in Seattle. You know, that wasn't a main event. They did it mid card. Yes, we get it, but still, it's a main event in that slot. Like you can go in boxing when when they do their matches, you got your undercard, then you got a main event in the middle, and then you got your real main event. Okay, and this, like she said, it should be a Royal Rumble, and that's why I was going with Io and them, because that right there has more of a chance than Gunther and Jay. I'm sorry for all the Yeet fans out there. I'm just gonna be real here. But Io, Rhea, and Bianca have more star power that could elevate and do well in the main event scene. I mean, it should be that way versus these guys. I get it, Roman Reigns.
Again, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, to playing devil's advocate a little bit, I can see the thought process.
No, I get that.
I'm actually more surprised they haven't named like co-main events for each night, and maybe let some of those matches be co-main events. Like let the triple threat women's match be the co-main event in front of this one, and then maybe or let Jay and Gunther be the co-main event before this one, and then let the women's triple threat be the co-main event before Cena and Cody. That way you have a singles and a triple threat, and then a triple threat and a singles on each night. So I'm kind of surprised they didn't do something like that rather than just name it as a main event. Really, because they've done that plenty of times in the past.
I was just thinking, what if they did a JB Scooter just watching? No Yeet. What if they did this, okay? What if they didn't want to put, let's say they put a ladder match for the tag titles, the WWE SmackDown ones, okay? What they do that? They can't put this after that. So I get what they're doing there. They can't put this match on after that, because I think that match would steal the show. MCMG.
But they would put something like that on to open the show to get the crowd hype.
Yeah,
that would jerk a curtain. That way you could get the crowd going at the beginning of the night. And just like if you remember, like the Intercontinental match when they had the last match there, which is I think 5 years ago today or something like that. Like today's the anniversary of when Matt Cardona, which Zack Ryder back then won the Intertitle. Was it 9th? Okay,
9.
Knew it was some. I don't know why I thought 3 or 5 because he's been gone longer than that. But I'm old.
I thought,
time flies when you're old.
Time does fly.
But yeah, so I mean, we're all in agreement. This really shouldn't be a main event, but it is what it is at this point, and we'll move on.
You know what would have been better is like Humberto or Garza came up and just signed it like Rhea did and said, "I'm in the main event now." Yeah, I'd be like, "This is awesome." Now we got the males doing that.
I don't know if I said that here last week, or maybe I had a fever dream where I said it. I thought after Rhea did that, like they should just have random people come up and grab it for me. I kind of like they did with the 24/7 title for a little bit.
Yeah.
And just have different people sign it and make it like a whole battle royal for the women's championship and make it official.
Right.
Have women from NXT come up, have like divas, like let Nikki Bella come and sign it, and Michelle McCool and all them. Just have everybody sign it.
That'd be awesome.
That would be hilarious.
You can auction that off. That'd be funny.
Oh, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. All right, the only other thing for SmackDown is what's coming up tomorrow night. It is Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu in a last man standing match. We'll go through. Jesse, well, let's start with you. Who do you think wins this match? And is it something you're looking forward to?
Well, I didn't watch SmackDown last week, so I had no idea that this was a thing. But how many times are these two going to fucking wrestle each other?
Hopefully this is the last one because they're making a last man standing match.
Like, goddamn, they have wrestled each other so many freaking times. Like, this is ridiculous. Jacob Fatu has to win. He can't not win. Not to Braun Strowman.
Yeah, the only thing that worries me is they do something kind of like they did with Bronson Reed, where it ends up being like a double thing, and they're both put out. That's the only thing that scares me because I think they still want to protect Braun because they still want to show Braun as a monster. So I don't. That scares me. Jacob should win 100%. I agree with you. And Sped, we'll get to you as well. But it scares me that they're going to try to protect Braun and make it like a double. Like nobody gets up from the count after a huge move, kind of like they did with Bronson. But Sped, what do you think happens?
Break the ring or some dumb shit like that.
Well,
yeah,
I get what you're saying, TC. But I don't think it's Solo. I think it's LA Knight that gets involved. Then helps Strowman win. And then sets it up at WrestleMania. But I think they're setting it up for a 3-way at WrestleMania, and then hate to say it, that's where Solo is going to turn on Jacob. I think that'd be a bigger turn than SmackDown now. But
that part's obviously coming.
Yeah, that part is coming.
They're leading way too much into that for it not to be coming up.
No. But that's what I see. LA Knight getting involved because he keeps talking about he's going for the U.S. title. He's going for the U.S. title. He's bringing it home, and so I think he's cost LA Knight. He's beat up LA Knight, everything. So I think LA Knight gets involved, helps Braun, the monster, win, and and then LA Knight. He's LA Knight. We all know the reason why he gets involved. So everyone goes, yeah.
So the reason he does have to get involved, TC, because if you remember the last couple of weeks, they've both gotten involved in his matches.
Yeah, that's true.
That would be the reason he would get involved in WWE logic. Mm-hmm. You broke my toy, so I'm going to break your toy.
Yeah.
Yep. That is WWE logic. That's funny.
But I think we're all in agreement that Jacob Fatu should win, whether he does or not. We're all kind of scared of that, but
yeah,
we think it should. That's the way it should go.
Should go that way.
And that's really
go that way.
Yeah. And that's again really all that happened on SmackDown. We're looking forward to this match. Everything just kind of pushing along. Wait, hold on. Michael with the Kicking Attitude podcast.
What up?
Beat JA. I'm not sure what that is.
Beat LA.
Maybe it's supposed to be LA. Yeah, I guess that could be. I don't know that I've ever read that on the show, but Sped, you make sense. Congratulations. That may be the first. And then look, full disclosure, this is actually the 6-month anniversary of us starting this show today. We actually started on October 3rd. Today is the 6-month anniversary. It took 6 months to say for someone to tell you made sense. So congratulations.
I know. Yes. I get to do.
And from what I know of Carol, she's just really nice. So it may just her being nice.
Hey, listen, I've never met a mean Carol.
Never mind. Thank you, Carol. We appreciate it. Big things in the last 6 months. Hopefully even bigger things in the next 6, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But moving on to Monday Night Raw, the promo we've all really been waiting for. It's been a lot of John Cena coming out, running the fans down, Cody coming out, and John Cena leaving. This time we actually got a little bit of a promo. Sped, I know you watched it, and I know you got some stuff to say. What did you think about the promo? Who do you think won the battle?
Okay, look, man. Cody got him at the end. He came back. At the end, but Cena really did cook him at first, right? And then Cody hit him with this, what he said. But, like, the whole thing was great, all right? We all were waiting on it, but I don't feel like we got that fine John Cena. You know how when he's like, fine, you want me to do this? Then let's do this, I don't think we got that level of John Cena. I still think they're protecting Cody on the mic because, like we said before, there's not a lot of people that can go with Cena. There's really not a lot of people that can go on the mic with Cena, and Cody is one of them, all right? I love Cody. Don't get it twisted. He's been great, phenomenal, doing his thing. But going on the mic with Cena, that's hard. That's very hard, and I liked it. I agree with everybody. Cena got on him at first, Cody got on him at the end, and then Cena snapped back. It was a good back and forth. And at the end of the day, this is what a main event feels like. All right, it doesn't feel forced like the Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk stuff. Because now now they're like, okay, Cena, now you can start getting on them. All right, but just don't go full fledged, make him look like a douchebag. Yeah. Mike, you off. Something's clicking. He muted. That's him then. Uh-oh.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my microphone's messing up, so I had to switch mics. So yeah, so the problem is this is the last time we'll see Cena until probably WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much of a great main event it will be. Hopefully they do some stuff to keep it going. But you never know. But yeah, I agree. It does feel a lot bigger than the other one. 100%.
What if we get, Fruity Pebbles John Cena, where he's at his house like Dwayne was with the whole John Cena Dwayne debacle, and he's like, you see all this stuff back here? Fruity Pebbles or Stardust or whatever he calls them, What if we get that one where he's just doing video promos on his ass? They would have to write something very soft.
Yeah. We could very well get stuff like that. I mean, and who knows, man?
I mean, they've got to do something to continue to keep leading it up to WrestleMania. They can't just stop.
Yeah, you can't just drop it and then hope everybody remembers this promo.
Nothing.
For 3 weeks.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
All right.
You have to actually keep the momentum going at one point. But Sped had a good point, though, about it not feeling forced, because honestly, Jay and Gunther feel so forced.
It is forced.
So forced.
Yeah, it does. I mean, and this week helped a little bit, which is actually going to lead into our next topic. You had Jimmy and Gunther in the match. Gunther obviously destroys Jimmy afterwards, which does put a little bit more into the storyline. I thought it makes me a little bit more invested into the story. Like you and I talked about, Jesse, with John on Monday. I'm hoping this is the end of the Jay promos of I don't think I can do this. Nobody believes in me. I hope we don't get any more of that. I hope really now we get the Jay that comes out and says, now I'm just going to whoop your ass for what you did to my brother.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's where we go from here. Sped, what do you think of the segment, first of all, and how they did it? And what do you think we do going from here?
First off, if anybody thought Big Jim was going to beat Gunther, I'm sorry. All right. We all knew that wasn't going to happen. All right. Secondly, like I said when I tweeted it, it's on site. If I was Jay and I just watched my brother get his ass whooped, it's on site when I find him. When I see Gunther, it doesn't matter about no damn promos anymore or anything like that. This is true on site. You just messed up my brother, my sibling. Now me and you about to go at it, and that's what it's going to be like. They were losing momentum until they got to this part. This part, if they do it right on Monday night, where Jay is like, listen, if I see him, he's getting hurt, then people are going to start tuning in like, okay, this is going to be good, but they got to do this right. And I feel like I'm hoping they do it right, because at the end of the day, you can't watch your brother get his ass whooped that bad, busted wide open like that, and then be like, oh, I still can't do this. After that, you're not world champion material. I'm sorry. Yeah.
If we hear another crybaby promo, it's over.
Oh, yeah, all day.
Exactly. First, can you hear me, guys? Is my mic okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Sorry, switch the big mic. I just had to reset some stuff, so we're good there. I agree completely. Kind of like I said at the beginning, and what Jesse just reiterated, I mean, if he comes back with that same tired promo of I can't do this, then you might as well not even have this match.
Yep.
Because it's just not going to hit. My personal thought, and I mentioned this in the comments of the Kicking Out at 2 podcast, which you saw Michael on earlier. I'm hoping there's a cold open, no music, no nothing, and Jay's just standing in the middle of the ring when Raw comes on the air. and says, Gunther, either you come out here or I'm going to come back there and find your ass.
Yeah, exactly.
No yeeting, no crowd work, no nothing. Just standing there saying, after you what you did to my brother, you either bring your ass out here and catch these hands, or I'm gonna come back there and find you and we're gonna talk.
Yeah, we're gonna
and
have
then
real talk.
have Gunther not come out and have the whole night being Jay looking for Gunther.
Yeah,
backstage.
Yeah, but then if they do that, are they gonna have it where Gunther fucking catches Jay slipping and beats the living piss out of Jay and makes Jay look even worse?
I hate that storyline of him slipping. You know, they're playing that reminds me of the time where, and this is going off topic for a second, I'm sorry, but does anybody remember AJ Styles doing that type of thing where he went to the top rope, he slipped in New Japan? I wish Stampede was in here because he made it into a gimmick after that. It worked because he was like, oh God, I can't do this no more. That's the gimmick, that slipping thing works there. This right here, where you slip and you purposely slip on the ring, like, oh man, magically it got wet. Like this whole time it's been wet, brother. We know that.
Yeah, that works when you're doing something like you said with AJ, or even going to WWE with like bum ass Corbin but not when you already have a title shot, when you just beat John Cena in the Royal Rumble.
Yes,
that's not when you have your crisis of conscience and your crisis of confidence.
Exactly,
it's not the right time.
No,
but I'm definitely a lot more excited for this match now than I was before this week. Hopefully they find a way to keep it. I hope, if they do the cold open, which obviously, hey, Triple H, if you're watching, we appreciate you tuning in. If you go with our idea, you don't have to pay me. You can give me a shout out though. I wouldn't mind a little run-in shout out on Raw. But if they do something similar to that, I mean, it would be just as good to have just to play cat and mouse. He never even has to catch Gunther, and Gunther doesn't have to beat him down. Let Gunther try to kind of outsmart him and just kind of show up in different places in the arena. And then by the time Jay gets there, Gunther's gone somewhere else. I'm perfectly fine with that for a week or two before you get to WrestleMania.
Yeah. No, I feel
and then
that.
you let the next time they touch each other should be in WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe have Gunther like via satellite this week saying, I'm not even there at the arena. I'm back home chilling.
Exactly.
Something like that.
That would be hilarious.
My worry is
like
that if they have him chasing after Gunther in the back, though, that they're going to have Gunther beat the shit out of him. They're going to have Gunther come out of nowhere and beat the hell out of him.
Ludwig comes out of nowhere. But yeah.
Well, luckily they've kept Ludwig away from this, which is good for Ludwig.
Ludwig, yeah.
So, anything else from Raw that may have caught your eye, Sped, that you want to talk about?
Yes, actually, but it was a Twitter promo from Penta where he called out not only Finn and Braun Breaker, but he also called out Dom for the IC. He said he would be IC champion soon. So that Fatal 4-Way match is going to happen. It's going to happen. My boy Dom's going to be champion, and I'm going to buy the belt.
Jesus.
I'm going to buy it. Look, see, he gets mad when I do this, so I have to do it. Look, pretend sleeping. Look, my son's even booing me right now. How do you boo me? Go to bed.
Thank you, Aiden. Welcome in, Aiden, too. I didn't say welcome when you came in earlier. We appreciate you joining in, Aiden. Fight the power. You keep fighting the patriarchy with your dad there and keep booing him. Thank you for that.
Hey, look, I'm raising you right.
Premature celebration.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hopefully Sped doesn't have that problem often. But he does have a bunch of kids. Apparently, he does.
I got 3.
So, yeah, that's pretty much everything from Raw. Everything else just kind of kicked the can down the road. Grande Americano is still pretty funny, but it's not really worth talking about. We'll see what happens next week.
That crap is hilarious. He's going to be in Minneapolis, and he's going to... Oh, my God.
Which Chad Gable still says he's coming. He put out a tweet today, said he is going to be there. I could see him worming his way out of a Fatal 4 with the title as well. Let somebody like Finn do all the work, or somebody like Penta or Braun do all the work, and then have Dom pull the Eddie Guerrero and throw him out of the ring and take it. I could see that. But it needs to be Finn if he's going to do something. Let Finn do all the work. That way you go ahead and implode that part of the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
And cut that out. So if that's going to happen, that's how it needs to happen. He needs to turn on Finn and go ahead and get that done.
Yeah.
Everything else on Raw pretty much just kind of kicked the can down the road. We had more developments in the women's three-way with Bianca being the special guest referee, yada, yada, yada. We'll find out more on that in the next week or two. So nothing else really happened. So we will move on to NXT, where we have and new North American champion Ricky Saints. Yes, the Saints have marched into NXT and taken the North American title after a 2-week reign from the culling with Sean Spears. Why did we even do that there? I guess
they finally gave him his reign. All right, but this was a great match.
It was. So go ahead and let us know what you thought and where do you think? So here's the question I'll ask after you tell me what you think about that. Who is, I guess, which is the obvious answer if you watched after that. Is it going to be a one-on-one for the North American title, or does Sean Spears find his way back in for a triple threat?
I
said
stand
and deliver.
I still think it's triple threat going and stand and deliver. I didn't think they were going to switch the title here. I thought it was going to be a stand and deliver, but it would. Yeah, I think this could be a really good match. But this guy, man, he's proving everybody wrong. He's telling everybody, listen, look at me. I'm really good at what I do. And that little crap that he did where he's walking and blessing people, just random fans in the crowd. I loved every second of that.
So I didn't necessarily think Ricky would lose.
I didn't think
I thought Ethan Page would interfere earlier and DDT him during the match, and then there would be a DQ win, but the title wouldn't change hands, and that would get to a triple threat at Stand and Deliver.
That's what I
thought with Carol. The fact that they did the title turn is what surprised me the most.
That's what surprised me.
Did you get a chance to watch NXT? I know sometimes you don't get to watch it.
I don't watch NXT.
Okay. Did you have any opinions about, former AEW guy, now 3 former AEW guys becoming NXT champions in the past, 3 or 4 months?
Good for them.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Let them succeed.
Yeah. I mean, these matches have been good, though. I'm glad I got to see Ethan Page live. That was awesome.
I don't care where anybody goes as long as they succeed.
Oh, yeah. No, I was loving the fact Halloween Havoc, I got to see Ethan Page, and I thought that was like the coolest thing ever because his entrance and everything. I was like, man, this is awesome.
Basically, that's all that really happened on NXT. There was some again kind of pushing along, waiting for Stand and Deliver. We had some stuff with Dark State. I will say it's interesting. We've all talked about Trick Williams, maybe the leader of Dark State. They finally attacked Trick Williams pretty bad. So I guess that at least put some water on that fire just a little bit.
No, that water is not that. Yeah, exactly. It's gasoline just got poured more on there for me. Right?
See, I think it's interesting. From what I said last week, I think it's interesting that they didn't do the power bomb to Javon Evans. They just kind of did a back body drop to Javon Evans.
Yeah.
Everybody else got the power bomb or something big. So I'm still thinking it's going to be Javon Evans instead of Trick Williams. I think it's a swerve.
I hope it is.
Not that kind of swerve. We'll talk about him later.
Yeah.
So, I think it's still going to be Javon Evans because they didn't go after him as much as they did Trick Williams or Obafemi.
Can we talk about how
just watch
that title is, though? The strap, how beautiful.
Yeah, I couldn't find a good picture of that title and him together, like where you could see both of them. This is the best one I could find when I was searching. Thank you, Google, I guess. Whatever.
Oh, no, I should have asked Esteban. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, and I didn't. I should have went and looked through his feed, and I didn't. Sorry, Esteban. We will get more of your stuff on here. Make sure you stay tuned. He may be joining a show here in the next few weeks as well. But we will move on to the main event. Aiden coming in with a big whoop that trick. I like it.
That whole freaking
Booker T.
That promo from Javon Evans, man, where he called him Carmelo. I was like,
that was pretty good.
I was like, damn, get him, Evans, get him.
Yeah. It's definitely the best Evans promo we've heard since he's come out.
God, yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Moving on to the reason everybody's here, especially the reason Jesse's here, because it's a show she's actually watched and interested in. AEW Dynasty coming up this Saturday from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We will go through our predictions. Sped, you got your notebook and your pen ready so you can write everything down?
Where's the notebook? Yeah,
all right.
We're good.
We didn't know we were doing this. It's fine.
I forgot.
Take your time.
I am.
You forgot the main title card of the show.
Yes,
I'm changing one of my predictions now, just so you know. I'm changing it now before we announce them.
Good.
I mean, as long as you change it before you say it out loud, I mean, that's fine. I change my mind like 5 seconds before I'm going to say it.
He does. It's hilarious.
And I usually lose when I do that. So I'm not real great at these. All right. Everybody ready? Everybody got your stuff?
Got
And
it.
we are vying for that AEW crown that you see behind Sped there, which you see a little bit less because the screens are a little bit smaller. Stay tuned. We may be changing the way the AEW crown looks a little bit. We may be doing some updating here in the near future. Stay tuned for X, SP3D, ROCK, and @ Big Mike 27 because we do want you guys to vote on what may look like in the future. So just a little note, be sure to keep following us and we will go from there. So we will go ahead. And again, John could not be here tonight. He is the other half of the lowdown of John Anthony, Jesse B, and John Princess Skywalker and John Anthony. I'll get the name right here in a minute. Almost like I've never watched the show.
Damn word.
So, yeah, so he did have to work again tonight. Somebody apparently called out, couldn't be there. He had to take over. So he did send us a video with his picks. So I will play that first. So get ready to write down rapid fire there, Sped, of John Anthony's picks for Dynasty. While Jesse, I guess you can change your picks 3 or 4 more times.
What's going on, guys? John Anthony from Shot Sports on the Lowdown, giving you my picks for this Sunday's Dynasty pay-per-view. Men's and women's Owen Hart first rounders. Men's is Will Ospreay. Women's is going to be Julia Hart. Ring of Honor World titles also on the line. Jericho, Bandito. Bandito is walking out your new Ring of Honor champion. The TNT titles also on the line. Deanna Garcia, Adam Cole. Adam Cole, baby, is your new champion walking out of there with some gold. Your tag team belts easily staying on the Hurt Syndicate. World Trio titles, Death Riders are going to retain against a very dysfunctional Rated FTR at this moment. Women's World title, Toni Storm, Megan Bayne, Toni Storm, not even close to losing that belt. Also, we have the international title with Omega, Ricochet, and Speedball. Omega ain't dropping it. No way, no how, not this time. And also, too, the world title is on the line. Moxley, Swerve Strickland. At the end of Sunday, it's going to be whose house? Swerve's house as your new AEW World Champion. Guys, thank you so much. Enjoy the show.
All right. Appreciate you there, John. And I'll send you that video in case you didn't get them all written down, Sped.
Word.
All right. There are John's picks. Before we get started, what's up, Lady Alpha? Welcome in. We appreciate you stopping by. Hope everything is well. You made it just in time for AEW picks. First match up on the card is actually going to be the Ring of Honor World Championship that he spoke about. I could not find a graphic for it, so we're just going to call out the winner here without having a graphic. It is Bandito against Chris Jericho. Ring of Honor World title versus Bandito's mask. Mask versus title. Jesse B, you're the guest. I'll let you pick first.
Bandito.
Bandito for the win.
Originally, I picked Jericho, but then I found out it was a mask versus title match. So as soon as I found out it was a mask versus title match, I changed, and Bandito is going to be the new ROH champion.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was thinking the same thing.
Yep, pretty much across the board there. I agree. I don't think they're going to take Bandito's mask off of him. So thankfully, Chris Jericho loses the Ring of Honor title and hopefully goes away for a little while, maybe forever.
No more
we will
learning tree.
Or the booger,
Right,
as my
next
son
up-
used to call him.
Wait, you call him what?
My son used to call him the booger.
Oh my
It's funny as shit. I don't like that.
My oldest, when he was like
Uh.
5, he's 20 now, but when he was like 4 or 5, he called him the booger.
That's funny.
It's funny. That's
Tell me
good
he
stuff.
just made the list.
He just made the list.
We will kick off with a couple of matches that they just announced. Owen Hart qualifying matches or quarterfinal matches. First up, you've got Mercedes Moné versus Julia Hart. As you heard, John picked Julia Hart in this. Jesse, who you got?
Mercedes.
I was gonna say the same thing. Damn it.
I will make John stand out on that limb. I just don't let him. I just don't let Julia Hart beating Mercedes Moné in any shape, form, or fashion. I'm going to
I
go
don't
Mercedes
either.
Moné and let John stand out on that limb. So maybe since he's the only one out there, the limb doesn't fall and hurt him. But hopefully he is wrong. So moving on to the other one, Will Ospreay versus, again, the newcomer, Kevin Knight. You heard him. You heard John say he was going with Will Ospreay.
He said
TC also
kidding.
thinks it's going to be Hart.
No, he's kidding. He's kidding. He said.
I Oh, I see it now. Yeah, I see the other one. Sped, I'll let you go first on this one. What do you think it'll be, Ospreay or Knight?
I'm gonna go Ospreay, but I got my suspicion that this match is gonna go to Knight, but I'm gonna say Ospreay.
Carol thinks it's Ospreay as well. Jesse, what do you think?
Ospreay.
Yep. I will round it out. Everybody will be picking William Ospreay in this to have round out the quarterfinal matches of the Dynasty with the Owen Hart tournament. Good Lord, that's hard to say.
Owen Hart.
All right. Moving on, you have the triple threat match for the AEW International title. Ricochet versus Speedball Mike Bailey versus the champion Kenny Omega. Jesse, who you got?
Kenny Omega.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good match.
There's too much rumblings of them unifying the Continental and the International Championship, which is going to pin Okada and Omega against each other. So definitely going to say Omega.
Yep, I agree with that. That's what I was gonna say. But let me ask you something, because I know you're a big AEW fan and whatnot. Would you have liked to see, instead of them unifying these titles, okay, a ring like what MJF has, you know, like the Dynamite ring or whatever, you know, make it a Continental ring, or just making the Continental title like what the 24/7 title was? Meaningless if it's still around, you know.
Well, it's meaningless now on Okada because he hasn't done jack shit with it.
Nothing with it. I thought it was just created for, and I know I'm going to catch heat for this, and I'm sorry, but I always thought it was just created for Eddie Kingston. You know, I always thought they felt bad for him, that he's not going to be a TNT holder for a while unless somebody gets hurt, you know, and the chances of him making world championship aspirations there is very, very slim. So I felt like they just made a title for him because he was hot at one point. Him and that whole him and Moxley thing that was going on, he was hot at that point. But I've always wanted to ask someone what they thought about that whole Continental stuff, though. Like, you know, getting rid of it. Actually, you give me yours, but she's a diehard AEW fan. That's what I was wondering. Yeah, like I don't get. Anytime I talk to a diehard AEW fan, they give me the same three things. Go F yourself. All right. I don't know what you're talking about. Or, hey, what? You know, and I'm like, come on, man. Yeah, like you try to talk to somebody and they just ignore you because they see Sped and they're like, you know?
No, the title's meaningless. It's absolutely meaningless at this point. Ever since they put it on Okada, it's been absolutely meaningless. He doesn't defend it. I mean, at least when Orange Cassidy had it, he was defending it consistently all the time. That belt was showcased constantly. As soon as they put it on Okada, it's just turned into a big joke.
It turned into a belt buckle, basically.
Pretty much. A glorified belt buckle.
It's an ugly ass buckle.
So can I give my opinion, Sped?
Okay? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go.
Okay. So I agree. I think, but what I think they should do is get rid of it altogether and keep the Continental Classic and make the Continental Classic kind of the same way you have the Owen Hart. Make it a number one contenders match. And if you want to make that for the international title instead of for the world title, so it's still a little different than the Owen Hart.
Yeah.
If you win the Continental Classic, you automatically get an international title match.
Mm-hmm.
So make it mean something still. You can have a trophy if you want to do a ring, like you mentioned. That's fine. You know, if you want to do a belt, you do the belt, but you have to turn in the belt to get your title shot.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And you could have one for the men and one for the women's. Like the women's could be for the TBS title, just like Owen Hart's for the main AEW title.
Yeah, no, I get that. I like that.
So, see, I have opinions too.
No, I know. I get to hear yours all the time. I love it, but I was just asking her. Oh, God.
But I think we all agree Kenny Omega is going to win. I know we got a little sidetrack there. We all picked Kenny Omega, including John Anthony. Moving on to the next match. It is the tag team title match, the Hurt Syndicate. I got it right the first time this time. So there you go, Michael, for kicking at it too. I didn't mess it up. You can't make fun of me this time. Going against the Learning Tree, Big Bill and Brian Keith. I will actually go first on this one because I think it's pretty easy. The Hurt Syndicate will hurt people, and they will break the Learning Tree and take the win. Much like you heard John say, Whichever one of you guys want to go first, because I'm pretty sure we're all going to have the same answer. Somebody pick and go.
Yeah. The Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah, it's
There
easy.
you go.
Same thing.
There's no fucking way.
Yep,
There's
pretty
just
much
no
everybody. Yep, pretty much everybody in the chat says the same thing. Carol, TC. I know I've heard Stampede, who's not in here, who said he was going to be here. So hopefully everything's going on okay. Stampede. Yes, bye Learning Tree. Hopefully, with all of them losing, you cut down the burning tree, get some firewood, let them stay away for a little while, and then kind of come back on their own accord and do their own things.
Yeah.
I actually think Big Bill would be really cool in the Don Callis family. If you want to keep him in some sort of group, have him and like Lance Archer be a team after Brian Cage decides to leave or something like that. I think that would be really cool.
That'd be
And
cool.
something good for him to kind of do.
Yeah.
Moving on to the Trios Tag Team title match. The Death Riders versus Rated FTR. Jesse, who you got?
Rated FTR.
Okay. As you heard, her partner did pick the Death Riders. He doesn't think that FTR can get rid of their issues before then. But a little bit of dissension on the Lowdown. Who do you got, Sped?
I was gonna go FTR as well. Just because there's some tension going on over there on the Death Rider side. There's a lot of tension going on over there. Look what Wheeler just have like just go at it with John, like shouting match between those two. Just recently. There's some stuff going on, and I mean they like Edge. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Cope. I'm sorry. Don't sue me. It's Cope. All right. But no, I'm going rated FTR on this.
See, this is one of those ones that I've gone back and forth on. And you're right. There's actually dissension in both groups a little bit.
Look, I'm gonna tell you. I think the reason why this happened, I think the Death Rider angle is starting to fizzle, and John needs some time off, and some of these guys need some time off to let their bodies heal. Look what John's been doing lately. That back needs to heal.
But the rest of them have had time off. Yes, John needs time off, but the rest of the Death Riders have been sparingly used over the past few weeks.
And that's why they won't keep the titles on them. You could get Edge. Damn it, did it again. Cope. Okay. You can do Cope and FTR, and have them run the trio division for a little bit. God, I keep calling them Edge. Look,
just say Rated FTR. They have a name. They have a group name. It's Rated FTR. Stick with that. It's the easiest way to do it.
Everything's rated with this guy.
So I'm actually going to agree with you guys. So we're going to put John out on that limb again. This is why John's probably going to win the crown because he's the only one picking anybody different. And say Rated FTR take the win. I'm ready for something different to happen with the Death Riders. Maybe this is where John starts turning on them for losing their titles. We'll see what happens with John and his title a little later. What everybody picks. And Carol is going after saying FTR. Obviously, she is a huge FTR fan. So they're not going to separate them. She loves them too much. John looked like a sissy running from Cope that whole match. There you go, TC. He's done that a few times in his career. He's definitely. But yeah, I am going Rated FTR as well. Next up, you have the TNT Championship. Daniel Garcia versus Adam Cole, baby. Sped, we'll let you go first. Who you got?
Adam Cole, baby. No time limit. Duke can do whatever he wants. No outside interference. We're going to see some crazy stuff. Look, Daniel Garcia has been great as a champion. But Daniel Garcia... No, I'm just trying to be nice. Okay? But Daniel Garcia didn't elevate that title. All right? That title deserves to be elevated. All right? It deserves Brody King treatment. All right? It deserves the prestige that Miro brought to it. That, the other... I'm not saying Jack Perry. I'm saying other guys, But
Sammy
the people,
Guevara.
Sammy
it was
G,
something when Sammy Guevara had it.
My man, Sammy G. Yes, I love that dude. The Spanish God. All right, what's how do you say hello? Fuego. Yeah, I love his little skip. I love his shit. All right, but I think it's Cole. they need to do something different with the TNT title. We all know Cole can elevate a title. He did it with the North American Championship, and he also did it with the NXT Championship. He had two great runs, and fantastic matches throughout. And he's in an area where he can still have those fantastic matches. So I got Cole winning this.
All right, Jesse, do you agree or do you have a different opinion?
I'm going with Daniel Garcia.
DG, Dollar General.
Okay. Any reason why? Sped gave a whole lot of reasons why he thought Cole would win.
I don't think Daniel's done with the title yet. I think he's got more to do with it. I would rather see it on Daniel Garcia than Adam Cole.
Baby.
Okay, that's fair. I want to say John went with Adam Cole as well, if I remember his video.
He did.
Yeah, he went with Cole.
So this one, I'm going to be honest. I'm not sure which way to go. I haven't been a real big fan of Daniel Garcia's run because you don't see him a whole lot. And to be fair, I don't watch every AEW show. I missed some collisions here and there. Maybe he's been on there and I just missed him, but I don't remember seeing him a whole lot. A couple of matches here and there. You've seen a whole lot more of Adam Cole. So I'm actually going to go with Adam Cole as well, just because I think he's going to be on television more with it. And I think that's what they want with the title. They want it to be shown a little bit more. And I don't think Daniel Garcia elevates that. I think it was a good rub for Daniel Garcia because it was right when his contract got renewed. They gave it to him as kind of a gift for staying. We appreciate you. We hope you're going to do big things. But yeah, I think it's time to put it on a bigger name, get some bigger feuds going. You can have the whole Undisputed Kingdom or Undisputed Era, whatever you want to call them at this point. All those matches and anything like that. So I think Adam Cole brings more to it than Daniel Garcia does at this point. So yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he has been on Collision mostly, and that's because Collision's on TNT, and he's the TNT champion. So of course they're going to feature it more predominantly on Collision because Collision's on TNT.
Yep,
that's fair. And that's the show I don't get to watch as much because I'm a huge sports fan. There's usually a lot of good basketball, a lot of good football on those nights. So that's one of the nights that I actually don't try to watch wrestling. Thursday nights and Saturday nights are kind of my nights off unless there's a big pay-per-view or ELE or something like that that's on. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't get to watch Collision as much as I should. So that's why I haven't seen him. But that's definitely a good point that him being on TNT as the TNT champion definitely makes a whole lot of sense. Next up, you have the AEW Women's World Championship, Timeless Toni Storm going up against Megan Bayne. It's the Women's Championship match, so we'll let the lady go first. Jesse, who you got?
Timeless Toni Storm. There's no taking that belt off her yet.
No.
But I don't think it's a clean win. I think it's a disqualification win.
Do you think Ford gets involved, or do you think it's somebody else?
I think Penelope gets involved. It's either going to be Penelope or it's going to be Mariah May.
I guess that's possible. I would think that feud's kind of done at the moment, but they could always bring it back. I mean, it has been not only the women, in my opinion, not only the women's feud, but the feud of AEW over the past year and a half, 2 years, in my opinion.
Yep.
So you could definitely try to bring that back and have it run it all in or something like that, just to let them have a big blow-off match.
But I think it's a DQ win. Because I don't think they want Megan to lose yet. So I don't think that they're going to have her get pinned.
Yeah, that's kind of what baffled me, is them putting her in this position where you don't want Timeless Toni Storm to lose because she just got the title back. She's the biggest character you've got. You've got Megan Bayne coming in, and you're basically gonna, if she loses clean, you're basically gonna kill all of her momentum a month or two into her first run. So it's definitely a hard decision. I'm going to go Timeless Toni Storm. I actually do think they let her win clean because I know they don't like to do a ton of interference and stuff like that. They will every now and then, but I think it'll actually be a clean pin. I think it will be a good, hard-fought match. I think this is one of the things that they wanted to do for Timeless Toni Storm is to put her against somebody who's more physically imposing. That way it gives her that kind of a win for the title run as well. So I do think it's going to be Toni Storm. John picked Toni Storm as well. Sped, round us out. Who do you think it is?
Toni Storm, but I think it's going to be a roll-up victory. Like Megan, she's still too green right now for that title. and to protect her in that type of situation, you just roll her up. Oh God, you got lucky. You got lucky. I was kicking your ass up and down this whole damn ring, and you just roll me up 1, 2, 3. You got lucky. And it just protects her a little bit.
I can see that. What's going on, Stampede? Stampede finally joined us. Welcome in, sir. I could definitely see that. You had the whole roll-up win with the Mariah May match when she first came back. So you've got that as well. So that's definitely a possibility. And it would be a way it would definitely be a way to protect Megan Bayne, to have her dominate, and then Toni Storm just getting the veterans rub of being the one smart enough to do that over a physically imposing opponent. So yeah, that would make sense as well.
Yeah. I just feel like Megan right now may be a little too green to be a champion, that type of champion, the AEW Women's Champion. Give her TBS. I would love to see someone win the TBS. Megan would be perfect with that TBS title. But I understand that. What I'm saying is, in that situation versus Toni Storm, and to elevate the other, the title the way Toni Storm has, give her a little bit more time in what she's doing, and then it'll elevate her itself. Megan, I'm talking about. It'll elevate Megan itself, to a different stratosphere than actually just giving it to her right now when she's still kind of new to the scene. Is all I'm saying.
I can understand that. All right, moving on to the main event: Jon Moxley versus Swerve Strickland for the AEW World Title. As you heard in John's video at the beginning, he has picked Swerve Strickland. So this being the men's title, I'll let you go first, Sped. Who you got?
I got Swerve, and he's gonna get some help. We all know that. But from who? And my pick is Hangman Adam Page. Something was said backstage, where he was like, "Hey, you burned down my house." And he's like, "Yeah, you deserved it." And he goes, "I know." And he's like, "What'd you just say?" He's like, "I know. I deserved it." And then he stormed off. I think something's about to shift for them. Hangman's like, "Hey, listen, I think you should win this." I think he's going to help him win it. And this is hometown. It's Swerve's hometown. You don't have Swerve lose in his hometown, man.
I thought Swerve was from the Northwest.
He's
from the same area.
He's from the same area. My bad.
Yeah, he's from the same area as Bryan Danielson.
That's on me then. That's on me. What time is it? 10 o'clock? Yeah, that's on me.
All right, Jesse, who do you think wins?
That's a good one.
House?
Swerve's house.
Swerve's house.
It's Nadia's house now.
It's time for the Death Riders to end.
Yes. I agree.
It's enough. It's over. It's done. It's lost. It's run its course. It makes no fucking sense. Get it off Mox.
Give it back to Swerve. Rest. Just let him rest, man. That dude's body's got to be hurting.
Let him and Renee get that vacation they never got.
Ever.
So that means both of you guys pick Swerve. John Anthony also picked Swerve in his video. So I guess it's my turn to be out on that limb, because I say Moxley retains. I don't think it's the end of the Death Riders yet. I think what this will do is it will, for the first time in a while, legitimize how dangerous Moxley can be. Obviously he's done some crazy stuff, but he's gone up against Copeland, he's gone up against other people, but being Swerve, who Swerve is, and some of the matches he's had in AEW, I think it's going to be a very brutal match. And I think Moxley takes it and proves just how dangerous he can be, to give his reign that much more legitimacy after everybody else on the internet wasn't happy with the whole Cope feud that he had, because they didn't want Cope. This is the first time in a while that he's going up against probably since Darby. That he's going up against somebody that AEW fans really want to beat it. Yeah, obviously people love Cope for obvious reasons. He's a legend, but true diehards didn't really want Cope because he's not one of their guys. Swerve is one of their guys. And while I think Swerve could eventually take it from him, maybe at an all-in, maybe they get a rematch, I don't think it's here. I think this is one of those times where you legitimize Moxley a little bit more, let it be a very brutal match, let it be very violent. Obviously, they've already had violent stuff, the whole glass thing at the end of Dynamite the other night, or last night, I should say. and let that be the start and the kicking point of a feud that goes a little further. And maybe you have another multi-man match at All In. You could put Hangman in there. You can put some other guys, maybe a Switchblade once his hand gets better. Hopefully he gets better soon.
Yep.
But yeah, I think Moxley keeps the belt. And I think that would be a good shot at the end of this, since they have been bringing up that he's afraid to bring the title out and all this. And Swerve is kind of focused in on that point a little more than anybody else has. Maybe the final shot before he pins him, the ref's down, and he pulls the title out of the briefcase, hits Swerve in the head with it, and then gets the pin. I think that would put a nice touch on it after all the times that they've mentioned him not wanting to bring the title up because he's ashamed of it and things like that. Swerve bringing that up a lot. So I think that would be a really cool way to do it.
I like that. I like that theory right there. By what if the Death Riders screw Moxley? I like that. I like that idea because like we said, there's tension right now. And that's what's leading me to think. I don't think Swerve's losing this. I hope he doesn't, but it's just. Like she said, I think it's just it's starting to run its course. There's tension building up. Things are starting to go sideways. John's got to be hurting, man. Dude's got to take a break at some point in his life, or he's just going to fall apart in front of God and everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, but everything we've seen from John in his career, John's not going to make that call. Somebody's going to have to force him out.
Yep, that's true.
And he's not going to sit in a room with Tony Khan or whoever else is doing the booking and go, guys, I need some time off. It's just not who he is.
No, I know that. So yeah.
So that is everything we have for Dynasty. That should be all 9 matches. As Sped counts up just to make sure.
Yeah, we did all of them.
Yeah,
so
there's 9. Yeah.
Harold thinks Wheeler Yuta could help Swerve. I actually think, if it doesn't happen the way I said it was going to happen before, you may actually get another member joining the Death Riders here. There may be for lack of a better term, and forgive the pun, a swerve and somebody actually joins the Death Riders.
Nadia turns on my man. I'd be pissed.
Or maybe Hangman.
Yo, listen, I'm telling you, Hangman. I don't know, man. I think he's gonna help out. Swerve. That's just me.
All right.
Hey,
so that is all for. I'm sorry.
My dog, he just like bounced up out of nowhere. Yeah, I was like, whoa.
I always think you're yelling at me when you do that.
No, man. He knows what I'm doing.
Moving on to the Twitter post of the week. This is submitted by Sped, so I will let you kind of go over it and let you have your question as we talk about the Twitter post of the week.
All right, so basically, I read this thing where TKO's kind of sucking people dry right now. Like, look at these numbers right here. $300 to meet and greet Bianca Belair. I get that. But Rey Mysterio and Charlotte, $500. Braun Breaker, Liv, $500. Jimmy and Jay, $650. Priest and Tiffany, $500. Look, their ticket sales are low right now because no one can afford $3,000 on a ticket. One ticket is $3,000. I went in and looked. That's crazy. That's what I'm saying. That's crazy. You could go to the Super Bowl in New Orleans for $45 in the nosebleeds and be like, yo, I was at Super Bowl. What's up? And say it. But this is crazy. So what do you guys think? Is TKO overcharging people for WrestleMania? And if so, are we going to see the lowest attendance since WrestleMania 22? Yep.
Oh, I think so, 100%, because the tickets are way too fucking expensive.
Oh, God. Very expensive.
Well, and you add into it too. You mentioned the meet and greets, but you also have now they're doing. They've always had the Hall of Fame, so that's always added to it. You've got the Raw and SmackDown before and after, which adds to it. You've got the roast of WrestleMania now that they want you to buy tickets for and go see. Yeah. They've got the WrestleMania after parties now where they're doing stuff with appearances and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They've got WrestleMania World where they want you to go and buy stuff. And I mean, it's just, they're doing everything they can to suck every dollar out of it.
Yep.
And price gouge people.
Yeah. And it's getting out of hand. At some point, just let the wrestling be the wrestling. I get it. You're in business to make money.
Yep.
But at some point, it's time to call enough.
Well, yeah.
Let's take about 3 or 4 of these shows off, and that's not even mentioned in like the dead man one man show, whatever he
the
calls
one-man
that.
show, yeah,
That's
yeah.
going on. You've got some other side shows, and that's not even including the indie wrestlers that are out there trying to make money off of the show. This is just WWE related. I mean, obviously, there's a ton of indie shows that go on in the area.
Yes.
I mean, it's so much to do and so much to spend. It's hard. It's hard for a normal fan to even attend one, much less 2 or 3 of those things.
Yes, you're right. And like, so I Esteban, he showed me his tickets, and now I'm not going to get into how much he paid for the meet and greets and stuff like that. But my mouth dropped when I saw it. You know, I saw how much he paid to meet Cora Jade and Roxanne and all these other people. I was like, holy fudge, man. Like, no, I'm good. You know, like if I meet you, if I accidentally run into you at the on the streets before the show in Hershey or something, high five. What's up? You know, like, how you doing? But I ain't paying $300, $500, $700. I ain't paying that for 2 people. Nah, just to be able to be like, hey, how you doing? You know, but nah. Like I saw all that stuff from Esteban, and I was like, that's crazy. That's just nuts. And then he's talking because he showed me his ticket from last year in Philadelphia, how much he paid to go to night 1 and 2 of WrestleMania and to World and to meet and greets versus the tickets this year. And this year, this dude spent almost damn near $10,000.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to go, like, even Raw and SmackDown sometimes, especially for some of the bigger shows, are hard to go to because of tickets and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's hard just to do regular stuff.
That's why
the last WWE event I went to was a SmackDown, and it was the one where The Rock and Pat McAfee showed up for the first time in forever because it was the same weekend as the CU game. And I paid $30 for 2 tickets.
He called it a BOGO WrestleMania. Yes. But
you got those through another contact or something. I mean, that wasn't just through like ATX or like. Was it? Okay. That's cool.
They were $5 a seat.
Damn.
Hey, listen, you said your husband's a veteran, right?
Yeah.
Go to vettix.com and you can get AEW tickets, really good seats for less than $15.
Oh,
because
damn.
he's a veteran.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
I did not.
Keep that in mind. Any veterans that are watching, say that out there one more time.
Look, all you vettix.com. Go on there, just hit your show them, you gotta do the ID me part, and you show up your VA card or your military ID and you sign up with that. Like I there's baseball, there's hockey, there's basketball, there's football, there's wrestling. I've seen MCW on there, GCW on there. I see AEW on there all the time. I see basketball, NBA on there all the time, NFL, MLB, UFC was on there a couple of times. Never seen WWE, but WWE hands tickets to veterans at will call for free. So if he ever wants to go to a match by himself for free, he can go will call. I'm a veteran. Yeah, but that's how that one works. But yeah, VetTix.
That's how good it is they don't pay us for that sponsorship, and it's still really cool. So we get to talk about it.
Oh, I love it. Get him. I'll take that shit. Get him.
Yeah, Tank. That's Tank.
But speaking of sponsorships.
Yeah, exactly.
Shut up, not Tank.
There's I should put up my damn URL code for that. But if you're a veteran and everything, yeah, I definitely would like to get that out there to them more often. Because you can go, if you're in Alabama, for instance.
Roll Tide.
High Tide. You can get some High Tide tickets too for $15. And you can go to any High Tide game that you want to. All right. Or you can go to see them Volunteers out there in Knoxville. And then me and you can go boo the damn Volunteers the whole time. Yeah.
Now that I can get along with. We can agree on that one.
Tank.
But yeah, speaking of sponsorships or non-sponsorships, we'll take this time before we get into the Twitter matchmaker. Please look up on that at the top right. download that QR code. It does take you. It doesn't cost you any money. We're not going to be WWE and charge you. It is absolutely free. It will download Match Masters. It is a really cool game. If you play it, we actually get some money from it. It helps out the channel do a lot of things. So make sure you scan that QR code up at the top right corner of your screen. Go play Match Masters. Again, doesn't cost you a thing. Helps us out a whole lot. We really appreciate it. And just helps us do some really cool stuff. So thank you, everybody, for that.
I boo the high tide team.
Yeah, that's luckily the high tide. Luckily, the high tide team doesn't exist.
I know.
So roll tide. And you've got a fellow Georgia Bulldog fan in here, or I say fellow, you're a Florida State fan. I got it.
I'm from Georgia.
You're from Georgia.
I'm an FSU fan.
So
Everybody's
Tennessee hasn't done anything to waste my time on. I like that.
I like that.
All right, moving on to the Matchmaker series of the week. We have a special matchmaker featuring 4 different people, as we usually do. Sped, go ahead and explain who you got.
All right, so we got Moose. All right, Moose. We got Gunther. We got man, damn it, I had this written down too. I didn't pull it up because I didn't think you were gonna call on me on for this.
Why I went to you, because it's your match.
Damn it! Now I gotta go find my damn list because I totally forget who I put in here. And then we got Moxley. Who do you guys got winning this one? Hold on, I gotta find my list. Yes, FSU. I'm drawing a blank on the third guy right now because I can't find the list.
It's so small I can't see it. I
That's
don't know
problem.
where my glasses are, so I lost them again. I don't know who that guy is.
That's not what I wanted to happen.
Stampede. Help me, man. My brain hurts right now. Come on, Stampede. You can do it. I believe in you.
It's okay,
Yeah, I
folks. We're
lost my
professionals.
glasses again, so I have no idea
I'm
where
not
they are.
professional. I'm a sped. What are you guys talking about? Where the fudge is it? Why do I have my notes off?
So regardless of who it is, I'll go ahead and tell you who I think is going to win because it doesn't change who I think is going to win. That's Tanahashi. That's who I thought it was. I wasn't sure. It's
Tanahashi. I thought it was at first. Yeah. Damn.
Thank you, Stampede.
Thank you, Tanahashi. Thank you. Damn it! I was going to call him.
He thinks it would.
I was
he
going to
thinks
say
it would
something
come
way
down
off.
to Gunther and Tanahashi. I actually think Moxley wins just because he's the craziest out of all of them. I think he would take the most punishment and still come back. I just don't think he's kind of like gremlins. You can't kill gremlins.
Why was I going to say that?
So yeah, I think Moxley takes it.
Go ahead, Jess.
Let's see.
I'm gonna
TC
go
says
ahead
it's
and
Gunther or
go
Moxley.
with Chairshot Sports guest on Monday, and I'm gonna go with Moose.
Moose.
Yeah, I was going to get to that.
Moose.
But thank you.
All right. This is what's going to happen. All right. John is a great pick. Moose is a good pick. But the only one man in there is going to chop everyone's freaking pecs off. And that's going to be, damn it, man. Come on. Why would you ruin that for me? I was going to say him, Tanahashi. Damn it.
Look, Stampede ruins my picks all the time. So it's fine.
No, I was going to go with him. Because, I mean, come on. Out of all of them, he's more gifted. The dude could go. When I was picking this, I was also watching a match. Okay, I was watching matches for all 4 guys. And I was like, man, how brutal would this match be? Can I imagine how brutal this match would be? Mox would bring out some crazy baseball bat with some spikes in it. Gunther would probably slap him so hard that the spikes go into his chest this time. You know, Moose would just pick up anyone and chuck them. Yeah, and then I'm going to say his name wrong, and I don't want to. That's my problem. I don't want to say his name wrong. And then he's going to come in just
Tanahashi.
He's going to come in and just screw everyone up with speed and power because that dude he's legendary. And the sad thing is he should have. And I understand what he did. He stayed in Japan. Should have came over because he'd have been legendary here in the States.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, Gunther in the G1 tournament, he would kill some people over there. Their chests
just
are too
seeing
small.
just seeing him going in New Japan altogether with as hard as they go. I mean, goodness.
Oh yeah, God, Gunther, man, he would thrive over there in New Japan with how hard he goes, how stiff he is, and everything.
Yeah.
I think he would love it over there. There were some guys over there.
Gunther's one of those people though who's going to thrive no matter what company he's in.
Oh yeah.
Much like all four of these guys, they would thrive no matter where they're going. And everybody can get mad about Moxley or whatever when he was in WWE.
I liked his run in WWE.
Ambrose, but he did well in WWE. But he's going to shine no matter what promotion he's in, just like Moose would, just like Tanahashi would, just like Gunther will. And that's the cool thing about all four of these guys.
Let me ask you something real quick. This is not matchmaker related, but could you see another title, AEW title, other than the world title, on Moxley? TNT, international, doesn't matter. But could you see another title on him?
I could see him going for the international title against Takeshita.
That'd be God.
I wouldn't want to see him going up against somebody like a Daniel Garcia just because I wouldn't be interested in that match. Because to me, there's zero chance Daniel Garcia could ever beat him.
Yeah, exactly. No, I get what you're saying there, but God, that match would be fire.
What do you think, Jess?
Yeah, there's no way that he would beat John Moxley.
Maybe not the plant, Stampede. He had a lot more. He had a lot more than just the plant.
Oh my God, I remember the plant. Oh man, that was great.
He does go a lot of places. He wrestles around the world too. So,
but what I'm asking is like we've always seen him in the world title picture over in AEW. Do you see him dropping back? And I'm not saying that Kenny Omega drop back. I like seeing these guys with the international title, the TNT titles, stuff like that, because it elevates those titles as well. You need those titles elevated so that way when a young kid like Sammy G comes back from ROH and he takes over the TNT title for the fourth time and he's like, hey, better running now, and he's elevating it again. He beat a real champion in Kenny Omega or Moxley or Adam Cole or something. Don't get me twisted. DG's been doing his thing.
Don't know that I would put
We
Adam
all
Cole
know
with
why Sammy
Moxley
is over on ROH. Let's be real.
Well, yeah.
It's not a coincidence.
No.
Yeah.
And he was on a roll too, so that really fucking sucked because they fucked him.
They screwed him so many times. I mean, they've done that to a lot of guys though, and I keep watching.
Yeah.
It happens in every company.
The reason I started watching
WWE does the same thing.
WWE does it a lot though. They screw people. They'll sign you out of spite and then just go sit in catering. Shut up, Meg. We don't want to deal with you. Go sit in catering. Yeah. I'll pay you millions of dollars to shut up. Yeah.
Agreed, Stampede. I mean, that's why I say I could see him going after the international a lot quicker than the TNT title.
Yes, the international title to me is bigger though than the TNT.
Yeah, me too.
I've always thought that.
Yeah, to me it's like, and I know WWE doesn't really rank theirs as much because it depends on who holds it, but it would be like that's more like the Intercontinental, and TBS is more like the U.S. Championship.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, all day. Yeah. Yes, all day.
So, but that is everything for the main show today. Before we get to the final word, Jesse B, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me at Jess Skywalker 10 on X or on YouTube at the Lowdown with Princess Skywalker and John Anthony. Sunday night, we actually have Preston Vance from ROH from the Frat House. He will be our guest right before Dynasty. So we'll have him on at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So we'll kick off Dynasty evening with Preston Vance.
That'd be dope.
Awesome. Sped, this is I'm doing the final word tonight, so this is where you say goodnight to everybody, and I will take over after that. What do you got?
Bye. I'm Sped. Hi. Have a beautiful time. Okay.
Tell everybody where they could follow you on Twitch. We need more Twitch followers. Promote your Twitch channel.
Yeah. All right. So we are on the road to 400 followers on Twitch. All running podcast shows, episodes, whatever, will be commercial free on Twitch from now on. Don't know how Kick works yet. Still looking into that. X, thank you guys for tuning in over there. Love you guys to see you guys. We're going to figure out how to get you on here with the chats too. But yeah, follow me on Twitch. That's at Spedrock, SP3DROCK. Every time you follow, Booker T does a spin-a-rooney. And if you subscribe, Hulk Hogan gets RKO'd. So hit it up.
All right. That will move us on to the final word with Big Mike. And it kind of goes back to what we just had on the screen in the four-way. I have the distinct privilege to join John Anthony with Chairshot Sports, who was our other guest who could not be here, this Monday at 6:30 Eastern, I believe, or 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, in interviewing former NFL player, former TNA World Champion, and current TNA X Division Champion Moose, who you saw in our TRI Matchmaker. Looking forward to that interview. Make sure you tune into all the other interviews we have done on the channel, both from Chairshot Sports with John, myself, and Sped, whether it's Dijak, whether it's AJ Francis, or now with Moose. All the stuff from the Lowdown you can check out here on the Run-In or on the Lowdown channel or at Chairshot Sports. They've done a ton of interviews with a lot of AEW, a lot of independent talent as well, and there's more coming up from Chairshot Sports. I think you're going to be on Vicious Vicky Monday night too. I think they got moved to Monday night as well.
Going to be on Monday night as well. The indie belt collector. So I'm excited to meet her and talk to her on Monday also.
Yep. So a lot of big things coming up for Chairshot Sports and for the Running Wrestling Podcast, as well as the Lowdown with Princess Skywalker and John Anthony. So thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you go subscribe and follow at the Lowdown, at Princess Skywalker, Jesse B. Follow Chairshot Sports. Also, I know it's a little late. It's about 9:15 my time. Go check out Kicking At It 2 podcast. They are currently doing an interview with Kid Bandit, which should be really cool. I am actually going to leave here and go jump in on that interview so I can listen to the rest of that as well. That is at Kicking At It 2 PC or Kicking At It 2 podcast. So thank you guys. We really appreciate you jumping in. We love you, and we couldn't do this without you. Thank you guys, and have a great night.